Hi, Andy XL back with another NFXL podcast. 2026 NFL draft preview again, a December update. I've done it for all the other positions apart from kickers and punters, and this will be the final December update looking at cornerbacks. Now, the average number of corners taken in the first three rounds of drafts this decade is 13. Four is the average for round one, with nine going on day two. Now, in October, I had 16 candidates in what I thought was a pretty deep top draft class to go in the first 2 days, which would have been above average. Um, in this update, I have 14 candidates to go in the first 2 days, which is again one above the average, and another seven who might be able to contend for that level of recognition. Now, at this time of year, we also get into the case of people putting themselves in the draft or even taking themselves out of the draft by deciding to stay at college. So I'll go through that as part of this update. So let's start with the round one, guys. And my number one candidate at cornerback right now is Mansour Delaney, a senior at LSU, 6'1", 187 pounds. According to Draft Buzzer, 444.40. Delaney has declared for the draft and has moved up from 4 to 3 in my October list, and is now my cornerback one in this class. 45 tackles, 2 picks, and 11 passes broken up have taken him there, and he now looks a solid mid first rounder who could even make it into the top 10 draft picks if a cornerback needy team decides to go that way in the early stages of round one. So Delaney's my top candidate right now. At two is Jamod McCoy, the junior out of Tennessee, 6 foot, 193 pound, 452.40. Despite not playing at all in the 2025 season due to an ACL injury and having another year of eligibility available to him, McCoy has declared for the 26th draft. So he will now need to convince teams of his recovery from his bad injury. But he must feel confident he can do that to have declared for the draft, and his team must for that matter. But his outstanding performances from 2 years at Tennessee prior to this season will still earn him an early to mid first round draft pick, as long as he answers those health questions adequately. And how he answers those health questions could decide where he goes in this draft. He could even still be the first cornerback taken ahead of Delaney, but drops to cornerback two on my list here. At three is Avion Terrell, a junior out of Clemson, 5'11", 180 pounds, 439.40. So a smaller, speedier type. He ended the season with 48 tackles, 3 sacks, and 9 passes broken up. He drops down to cornerback three here due to the rise of Delaney, but remains on course for a mid to late round one pick, and he too has declared for the draft. Next up is a sophomore, Colton Hood, out of Tennessee, 6 foot, 195 pound, 443.40. Now he's a sophomore, but he has declared for the draft, so that's a bold move. He came into my list in October at cornerback five and climbs one spot to four now, which could make him a borderline round one, round two guy, who I have going at the end of round one right now. He has declared for the draft, as I say, and after an impressive 50 tackles, a pick six, a fumble return, touchdown, and 8 passes broken up, justify his rise to potential round one material. So keep an eye on Carlton Hood, because obviously is an upside to him as well. Right, these are the guys. That's round one done with. Four in round one as what I have, which would be basically bang on the average. So let's look at the round two guys and round three. But let's start with round two. We should really be looking for 9 guys here to go in round two and three combined. And the first one I have, and therefore my quarterback five, is Brandon Sissy, a junior out of South Carolina, 6 foot, 190 pound, 445.40. He transfer Sissy was not even in my October list, but his draft stock has been on the rise late in the season, and he has now declared for the draft. He transferred to the Gamecocks from NC State prior to this season. His stats may not be as impressive as others in this class, and he may still be somewhat of a developmental project, but he is an excellent man-to-man corner with lots of upside to him. Here's another to have declared for the draft, and he gets into my list at quarterback five, and may mean he goes into in the second round as a result, as probably a not straight away plug-in starter, but the guy who's got upside. Right, my sixth guy is Keith Abney, a junior, Arizona State, 6 foot, 190 pounds, 446.40. Abney climbed from 11 to 7 in my October list and is now up to 6 in this update. And there's yet another two have declared for the draft. They're pretty much all declaring. He has 44 tackles, 2 picks, and 12 passes broken up this season, which give him 96 tackles, 5 picks, and 21 passes broken up in the last 2 seasons. Those two very strong seasons could well see him go in round two as a result. At 7, and the final round two guy I have, so really there's only 3 that I've got in round two at the moment. Excuse me, more coffee. So the 7th guy and the final round two guy, Chris Johnson, senior, San Diego State, 6 foot, 185 pound, 455.40. Moves all the way up from cornerback 16 to 7 here, and from round 4 into possible round 2 territory. 49 tackles, 4 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes, and a number of passes broken up. Make it a second strong season in a row for Johnson. The fact it comes against weaker opposition than others in this class may limit him to late second or early round 3 pick wise, though. These, as I often say, with whatever the position, these inverted commas smaller school guys need to show up well at pro days and combines if they're to push their case. Right, that's round 2 done with. Let's get into round 3 then. And my cornerback 8 right now is Dalen Everett, a senior out of Georgia, 6 foot, 190 pounds, 434.40. So he's a quick guy. So he drops one spot in October, but stays at cornerback 8 here. 41 tackles, 1 pick, and 8 passes broken up. Mark a decent season for him, though, and he could still see him going in mid to late day 2. Right, number 9, Chandler Rivers, another senior out of Duke. Smaller guy, 5'10", 180 pounds, 445.40. Rivers moves up from cornerback 12 to cornerback 10 in October, and now to cornerback 9 in this update. So a steady rise. 223 tackles, 7 picks, 2 pick sixes, and 29 passes broken up over 4 very consistent years at Duke. Mark Rivers as a solid round 3 option for teams to consider. At 10 is D'Angelo Pons, junior, Indiana, another small guy, very small, 5'9", 170 pound, but with speed, 435.40. Small, speedy, nifty corner, rapid change of direction, but on the tiny side, which has got to count against him. He is one that hasn't yet declared for the draft, but he's up from cornerback 14 to cornerback 10. Pons has put up good numbers in both his seasons at Indiana, but that lack of size may still limit into round 3 come draft time. So 11, cornerback 11 is Malik Muhammad, and we're still in round 3 here, by the way. Malik Muhammad Jr. out of Texas, 6 foot, 190 pound, 447.40. After dropping 5 spots in October, Muhammad drops to cornerback 11 on my list here, so he's just nudged down a little bit. But now that may only get him a round 3 selection. His versatility and consistency may be his best qualities, and ones that will certainly be valued by NFL teams as he is another that has declared for the draft. Then on to another senior, Davison Igbonison, out of Ohio State, 6'2", 193 pounds, so a quick guy but with plenty of speed, 435.40. So all the physical stuff is there, but he hasn't really delivered on those numbers. But he does climb up from cornerback 14 to cornerback 12 off the back of a 43 tackle, 2 pick, and 8 passes broken up season. But as per the October update, he looks to be a solid part of the Buckeyes' stellar defense rather than a principal member of it, and that may be his role in the NFL too. That still gives him a shot at getting into day 2, but he could slide into early day 3 if teams see him more as a depth guy than a starter. So 2 more guys in round 2. So it's very busy round 3. If you think we've got 7 guys in here. So the 13th guy, cornerback, is Will Lee III, a senior out of Texas A&M, 6'3", 190 pound, 455.40. So a tall but lacking in bulk, really, a little bit. He drops down from cornerback 13 from cornerback 9 after another solid season for the Aggies. But with others in this class excelling, that could make round 3 the earliest that he goes in this draft. And the final potential round 3 guy that I've got right now is Julian Neal, He's another senior out of Arkansas, 6'2", 200 pound, 458.40. New into this list at cornerback 14. He's 45 tackles, 2 picks, and 10 passes broken up in his first season at Arkansas after transferring from Fresno have made him into a day 2 possible. A lack of top level speed may limit this highly efficient tackle to being a late round 3 guy at best, though. So that's the 14, one above average if they all went and they all declare, like I say, D'Angelo Pons, they pretty much are all in, with the exception of D'Angelo Pons. So we're about on average for what I'd expect. But there are some more that are potentially challenging to get into that. And let's get into those sort of round 4 level guys right now. The first one is Keontae Scott, a senior out of Miami, 5'11", 195 pound, 439.40. 54 tackles and a pick 6 gets Scott into my list for the first time here at cornerback 15. Another smaller, speedier type of cornerback. He has returned strongly from injury and may well be able to climb draft boards if he continues to show up well in the college playoffs. At 16, DJ McKinney, junior, Colorado, 6'2", 290 pound and 441.40. Now, one of the comments I wrote in my October update was, with Travis Hunter having left Colorado to join the NFL, McKinney may have to do more in 25 as he will be asked to cover the other team's best receivers in this season. If he can, he will stand a chance of getting into a round 2 selection. Well, he's been on a steady slide. He dropped 2 spots in October and is now down another 5 in this update. So he hasn't really stood up to that test. 35 tackles and a pick make his 2025 season less impactful than those that have climbed above him and may see him slide into day 3 draft-wise as a result if he declares for the draft, which he still hasn't. Damani Jackson, it's the 17th cornerback in my list, a senior out of Alabama, 6'1", 197 pound with a blistering 428.40. Drops all the way down to cornerback 17 after a modest season at Bama. Could still recover plenty at that lost ground if he blitzes the 40 at the combine. NFL teams fall in love with speed. They can't help themselves. But right now, he may be a round 4 flyer to teams to take a chance on rather than a top-end guy. Right, at 18, the second with the surname Scott, but I don't think they're related. Xavier Scott, a senior at Illinois, 5'11", 190 pound and 452.40. My initial comments were him that he could make up into a good nickelback in the NFL, but may lack the physical attributes of others in this class. He made a nice start to the season, but he's been suffering from injury pretty much all season. Can he show that he's over that injury before the draft? If not, then day 3 may well be where he lands now. At 19 is a junior, Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina. 6'2", 219 pound and 448.40. So he's pretty much the biggest corner in this list. He drops another 5 spots, having dropped 8 spots previously, despite a 54 tackle, 2 pick, 10 passes disrupted season for the Gamecocks. I don't really get why he's on the slide, if I'm to be honest. I still like him as a development nickelback type with huge upside. I would personally take him earlier, but round 4 may be where he lands as it stands, and he has declared for the 26th draft. Kilgore's one that I think is being underrated. At 20 is Devon Moore, a senior out of Florida, 6'2", 197 pounds, 455.40. Had a decent season for the Gators after 2 injury-blighted seasons. That history of health issues and a potential lack of speed limit him to round 4 at best, though. Comes into this list at cornerback 20, as I say. And the final one at 21 is Decario Davis, a senior out of Arizona. 6'4", 190 pounds. So team looking for a tall corner is going to look his way. 451.40. Has done okay since coming back from an injury this season, but potentially not done enough to get into day 2. He's been on a gradual slide. He was one of the very top corners as we entered the season. He gradually slid down all the way down to my cornerback 21 now. There's one other guy I want to mention because he's passed on the draft. He was number 3 in the October list, but just to make you aware that he said he's going back. He's going to enter he's being reported he's going to enter the college transfer portal in January. That's AJ Harris, the junior out of Penn State. So it looks like he's going to forgo the 2026 draft. So you are looking out. I'm wondering, where's he put AJ Harris? Well, it sounds like he's not going to enter this draft. So that wraps up my look at the cornerbacks. Early in January, I'm actually going to try and put together my top 100 as it stands now. And I'll probably wait for the transfer portal to open up so we get a better idea of who's in and who's not in terms of entering the draft. But that will come up in early January as we build up, entering into the end of the NFL season, obviously. Then we all start to focus on the draft. And as I said before, it's real strength of mine. And if you want to know what's going to happen, you'd be very wise to listen to what I'm saying. All right, see you soon.